we had to survive.
But on a lighter note, do you still eat manku?
It's my favorite.
Hey.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
All right.
So it's a survivor food. David hung his clothes, his old clothes, so he can remember.
I know.
Where I eat banku,
from is a reminder.
Yes, it's a reminder of where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Okay, Prophet Echo Daniels is my guest this morning, founder and general overseer of Raw Time Ministries International. We just took a break on the Banku story. I think we're back, and so we're still talking survival.
Yeah.
But hold on a second. When you said that you didn't want to be in the other faith and you wanted to be a Christian,
no, I didn't want to be a Christian.
Oh.
No,
you didn't want to be a Muslim. You didn't want to be a Christian.
No, I just didn't want to belong to any religion. Yes,
and why would that?
No,
why would that be?
Christianity wasn't even in my home, to be honest. Because, like I said, my father was a Muslim. My mother, I would call it a documented Christian, because when you are filling the forms, they ask which religion, so she has to write Christian. But
not
she
the
wasn't
practicing one.
Sorry,
not the practicing one.
No, she wasn't. She was all also about survivor. Trying to raise her kids the best way she can, as a single mother. It was really difficult. Wow. So I just didn't want to be a Muslim or be anything. However, I was interested in traditionalism.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a vibe for that. So, and I told my grandfather, and the time in Mankisim, anybody who grew up in Mankisim, it was common. Like in Mankisim at the time, it was common. Islam was common. Christianity was also there. And so, yes, that's where I moved to
be a traditionalist.
Yes.
What did that mean? If you're a traditionalist, what does that mean?
Oh, you believe in your how do you call it? Is it fetishism? Or
okay.
So you believe that there are spirits, there are gods that can work for you.
Did you practice it?
Of course, I did.
Oh, really?
I've done that a lot of times in the past. Yeah, so I practiced that. I've been to most of that time. Most of the people were known around the surroundings of Mankisim, because we are trying to find answers to our questions. We want to know what's happening with us. Why am I suffering this way? And
wow.
When you go to these people, they tell you they are palm readers, they are sorcerers, they are
what did they tell you? What did they tell you? I'm curious.
At the time,
yeah.
Some of them, sometimes it's scary. Some of them will tell you, oh, they want to kill you. No, they want to take your star, sometimes they'll tell you, oh yeah, you have a bright future. They can be telling you that something true, but it's not coming from the spirit of truth. But then, however, at the time, it sort of gave us some sort of hope, that, oh, okay, at least there's hope for the future. Even in Tadi, because in Takrade, we used to also steal church money, church offering. Yeah. Me and my friends.
Chap with them.
Yeah, chap with offering. No.
You intercept the money going to the bank, or you enter the church.
Oh, we'll find a way where they put the collection. We had an idea, because we're not church people.
So you are not even afraid.
Oh no! Me, I have, I don't have fear. I've never had fear. I just thought these things are just normal. You just get the money and go and gamble with it, or you get food.
You took the money and then you went to do cha-cha.
Oh yeah. You'd be cha-cha, you'd be toys ban, do all manner of stuff.
So it's a record that at this point you had no parental control. No. You were just on your own, surviving.
Yeah, we just. Yeah,
did it lead you to some sacrifices?
Like what kind of sacrifice?
Like being in that traditional religion or whatever you practice. Did it lead you to go and do something? You know how sometimes we see in the movies.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We've gone to places, tried to get money. I've gone to places trying to see if they can work some money for me, or, and so we have to make some not human sacrifice, but of course maybe kill a cat or a chicken.
You
stuff.
killed a cat?
I've done a lot of stuff. Yes, we've killed cats. We've killed. I've killed. No, let me talk for myself. I've killed cats. I've killed chicken. Traditional practice. It's common in traditional practice.
No, chicken I know, but
sometimes when you go and check your destiny, whether the gods are for you or not, there's a way they kill the chicken, Is it right? It's chicken.
Yeah.
And then they flip the blood and spill the blood on you and see how, there's a way the chicken has to lie. If it lies in that position, then yeah, the gods are for you.
Hey,
And people still practice. I see that on Facebook a lot.
really?
Yeah, if the chicken doesn't lie in a certain way,
It won't work for you.
I have a big problem. The
So
gods are against you.
Did you blow?
Oh, the chicken used to lie in the right place.
So I'm asking, did you, like they say?
Did it work for
did
me?
it work for you?
Funny enough, no fetish person ever was able to help me. I remember one of the fetish priests that I went to actually ended up asking me for a job. you know, and he drove me from the village where I went to see him to Accra. And I was drinking in the car while he was driving, drinking wine. And he used to tell me, he was telling me at the time how he thinks I'll be great. And in fact, he thinks that he can work for me as my driver. That's when I actually said, I think I'm probably powerful than these people.
I know, right?
I just didn't know who I was. I just thought these people are not really powerful, because if he's asking me for a job, then
Wants to be your driver.
yeah, one of the fetish priests, and he was known to be very powerful man. Yeah, very powerful man.
Wow.
Yeah, but he drove me from where I went to see him to my house in Dansoman. Parked my car, took some money and left.
No, hold on. Did you say that in your car?
Yeah, I used to work for a company at the time.
So you had money, like it was. I don't understand. At this point, you were not satisfied with what you had.
Oh no, so now I've moved to Accra. I'm talking about an Accra story.
But you still went back there.
Oh yeah, no. It's an orientation of my life. You see, so people are formed by their orientation and socialization. So that's what I knew. I knew fetish stuff. I knew that you need to be protected. I knew the fundamentals of spirituality. I just know that you can't just be in life just like that. Something has to be working for you. You need answers. You need this kind of guidance, and that's what the prophetic ministry addresses. And so on the other side, you have people who can guide you. So yeah, I'm always looking for that kind of guidance and protection and preservation and all that. So that's when one of the times I went to one of them, and I heard he was very powerful. Yeah, but he ended up asking me for a job. Then I realized this guy is, I think I'm more powerful than, and he was my last one.
When you say a last one, it means that because he asked you for a job and all of that, you could tell that this man, nothing good will come from him.
Yeah, exactly.
So at this point, did you decide, okay, now I have tried some faiths, let me now become a Christian?
No, I was never interested in Christianity, because you see, I think that at the time, most Christians I knew were hypocrites, and yeah.
Why don't you explain that?
Yeah, I like to be real and honest. I like to be a representation of what I stand for, because like I said, I don't have fear. So I believe that be yourself, be who you profess to be. Don't say one thing and then come and eat with me, for example, and then go behind my back and try to stab me and then profess Jesus, and then I get to know about it, and I'm still sitting with this person and they are still talking about Jesus, and that's wrong. I mean, you have God in you, so you know the fundamentals of what is right and wrong, right? So, and then more so, I also felt like they were talking about things that were not in their life. I mean, the Christians that I used to know, if you're telling me Jesus can help me, can give me protection, preservation, Jesus can heal me, Jesus can financially help me, but you are suffering, you're broke, you're depressed, you are sick. All the things you are saying Jesus can do for me, it's not in your life.
Question mark.
Exactly. So how do I believe that? How do I come to accept something that is not in your life?
Wow.
So those were my questions. Like, you're preaching something you don't even understand, you don't even have evidence of, and I'm more like an evidence-based person. In spirituality, because funny enough, in Adesado College, I studied CRS, how God works. So I knew my Bible. I just knew it as a textbook. I studied Bible very well just to pass exams. So if you sit with me as a Christian and you try to convince me, you should know your stuff.
Wow.
Yes, because I knew the Bible, but it wasn't backed by the Holy Spirit, of course. But then I could really bring you down if you sit with me for discussion.
You ready to pass your CRS?
Yeah, and literature exams.
I see.
I just didn't know God was training me.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so I was not interested in Christianity. I used to dislike prophets a lot. I never liked prophecies. You know, I never liked church. If you take me to church, maybe then I have a personal interest in why I'm there. You know, because I was business minded. I'm still business minded. So if you take me to a church, then I'm looking at business prospects.
Really? Like what?
I used to sell alcohol,
So you're going to sell to the members of the church?
of course,
How?
but we were drinking together. So
The friends you had, no?
the people that were in the church were drinking with me. You know, so
Really?
oh yeah. I mean, everybody in Dansuman knows me. Everybody in Dansuman who lived in Dansuman between 2010 to that time, till about 2019, they know me very well. You know.
So these friends who drink with you are in the church you go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So after the church, I also try and evangelize to you my products and my service. I will introduce you to my services. You know. So
You
well,
were-
I've done all of.
You were selling alcohol.
Yeah. I
So you
sold
call
alcohol.
them and say, Charlie, yeah, move away.
Yeah, I give you for free. You know, you can try it. Sales. I was one of the best sales guys, you know, in my companies.
And you went to church. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I remember one time I went to Prophet Amanese's church. I was very drunk, you know, and then I see,
Queen's Friday.
you know, I most of the times I was drunk, because I used to work for an alcoholic company and I had to meet sales, and so my sales is mostly in the night, you know. So I went to his church. I was having some troubles, you know. At that time, I've realized these fetish guys, they don't have power, you know. So I wrote something on an envelope. You know, one of the men of God who convinced me was that prophet.
Prophet Achumanase.
Prophet
Of
Achumanase,
Watered Garden.
Of Watered Gardens, yeah. Because, you know, what I wrote on an envelope as a drunk guy and sent an usher to give it to him on the stage. At the time, I call it the stage. He took it, read it, and asked me to sing him. You know,
What
and I
did,
felt,
what did you write?
Oh, I told him, you know, as I'm sitting there, I'm very broke, depressed, you know, I'm drunk. I would like to have a conversation with him, if he doesn't mind.
The guts.
No, yeah, I think maybe he will remember because it was a very unique encounter. He might remember, you know. So yeah, he read it. Of course, I'm sure he saw some guts. He was like, "Who is this person?" You know. So he met me. It was on a Sunday. So he asked me to see him on a Monday. I didn't meet him at that time. I was coming from sales.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sales what?
Police
Like,
sales.
what did you do?
Oh, I had a problem with some Lebanese guys. There's people I was working for, the alcohol people I was working for. You know, I had some problem with them, and then it ended up me being in sales. So they arrested me on a Friday in Ghana.
Weekend break.
You know, so I had to come out on a Monday, and it was a lot of problems. I got very depressed. At that time, I think I was getting to that bipolar state, you know, so
Wow.
yeah, you know, a young guy who is coming from a very difficult background, who's trying to, you know, make money, and then stuff begin to go so wrong. So when they got me arrested and I came out of sales, that's when I went to Prophet Achumanese's church.
At this point, you know it's party.
Oh no, I've always believed there's power.
Okay.
I just didn't like it from the Christian side. But as for power, I know life, there's power. Life is not just normal. So yeah, he read the stuff. He asked me to see him on Monday. I did. I went to his office. I went there drunk again. And then he told me, he said, you know, these people that owe you money, because it was money that they owed me, and then I took their car, and in exchange, I thought I was having a fair trade. You know, so Prophet Achumanase said, one day you'll be greater than these people. You are actually, as you sit there, you are greater than them. You are bigger than them. You just don't know who you are, you know, and I'll pray for you. And when I'm done praying for you, you can go. Sometime you remember what I've told you and keep what I've told you. So I thought this man, he's not serious, you know, because I came so he can do something for me, you know, so I can get my money or get some restoration or something. At the time, even for him to see, because he is huge, and in Dansum at the time, you like even till now he's very huge.
Yeah.
So for him to call me and want to see me. That was humbling.
Mm.
So, but my expectations was not met. I thought you could, because I knew he was powerful, so you could do something for these people to pay me, and they didn't. All he said was, "You are a great man. You are a big man. You are greater than what you." And he never spoke about my being drunk. That's one of the things that impressed me about him. I realized he's not a judgmental person. He never talked about the fact that I smelled alcohol. He just prophesied on me, laid hands on me, prayed for me, and then asked them to let me go. So from there, I still got very depressed, and I got mad.
Huh?
Yeah, I went insane. I got mad, like mad.
You mentally.
Yeah, mental problem.
Ah.
Yeah, I got mad. I got mad. So my mother and my brother, my senior brother, came for me from Accra and took me back to Mankisim.
Like you lost your senses.
Yes,
Literally.
literally.
You were walking naked outside, or
Oh no, it didn't. It was getting there, but the wisdom of God, quickened my mother, so they quickly had to come for me. From
what do you remember doing in that state?
Oh, when you are mad, you don't know what you are doing until you are told.
Wow.
So your reality is that state you are in. And I remember my brother would tell me, mostly when we are looking for you, we'll find you at the cemetery.
Ah.
Yeah, or sometimes I used to even set my mother's house. I'm saying it on radio for the first time. One time I set my mother's house on fire.
Ah.
Yeah, because I was.
Why doing it, Jumawa? Okay. Yeah, I get that.
When they are looking for me, I was doing very crazy things. However, even in all those things, I used to prophesy. I used to tell people about themselves, and it was strange. So one prophet even told my mother, "This your son. When he drinks alcohol, he sees."
You were not a Christian.
No, but I was always saying that the gifts. I was born a prophet.
Who told you?
My mother. My mother used to serve. I told you she was traveling to villages. Yeah. So in attempt to buy the gari and maize and stuff, she used to visit a prophet and gift him some of the products or the stuff. So this prophet knew my mother as a very good woman who comes to the village, and anytime she's leaving, he goes to the prophet and gives him stuff. So one day the prophet asked my mother, "What do you want? What is that thing you are desiring from God?" And my mother had my senior brother as her only child. So my mother said, "Oh, she wants another child." So the prophet prophesied to my mother that, for all you do for me and etc., a year by this time you will have a child. And I was that child. Yes.
And you'll be a prophet.
Yes, and then he told my mother that you have a child, you'll be a prophet. But that was just about it. And he was an ancient prophet, like, very ancient prophet. My mother describes him as a very deep man and a very powerful man in the village at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was born a prophet, and so I always saw. I just didn't know what it was. I just thought it's one smart thing I have. I could, in school, in Central University, my colleagues or my mates will tell you, I never really wrote notes. I could sit in a lecture hall, listen to a lecture, and when I'm done, I'll teach you the same stuff. But when I'm done, you will understand mine.
Photographic memory.
Yeah, and in during examination, when we are going to have exams, I will tell them where the questions will come from.
Hey.
And it will surely come from those places.
Really?
Yeah. I just thought I'm good at reading the lectures or good at, studying people. I just didn't know what was on me. And my mother hadn't told me all these things at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was one prophet, another prophet, he's also passed, may he rest in peace. He was the first person who told me and my mother that your son is a prophet. At the time, I was an actor.
Hey.
I've done a lot of things.
Gollywood.
Yeah, Gollywood actor. I was an actor and a model for like 8 years in Accra.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you become a Christian?
So when I was mad, my encounter with God brought me the healing. So I prophets were coming to pray with me and praying for me and stuff, giving me direction so I can recover. And one night I encountered God in a very supernatural way. Because at the time, like I said, I knew Bible, I knew stuff. People have told me about Jesus and all that. I used to go to church. I just wasn't a Christian, So I encountered Christ in a supernatural way one midnight, and when I came out of that encounter, I was healed.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
You
healed.
want to share that?
So the encounter, the Lord hasn't permitted me to say because I don't know why, and I like to obey God. But it was a very supernatural encounter, and that's the source of my altar. So that encounter, it was a realm where I saw a lot of things. So when I came out of that encounter, I jumped out of the room where I was with a lot of shout and scream. And at that time, my grandmother has also died, and we're preparing for her funeral. So I was through that healing process. I came out of the room, screaming and shouting, and my mother was asked what's wrong. I said, I don't know, but I saw something. So I really saw something in that room. I was very scared to enter the room again. So yeah, when I came out, I was fine. I just couldn't remember anything again. I was whole. I was new, and then I got introduced to a prophet, Prophet Nestor Manley. So it was Prophet Nestor who began to tell me about my life, what has happened, the things I've been through, and all the issues of my life, and why I had to go through those things. Because I was born a prophet, and I've been very stubborn to the call of God, and this was the way God will get to you. Because I used to, like I told you, I used to insult Christians a lot, debate them. I never want to hear you evangelize to me. So when I became a Christian, I now knew I was a Christian because the prophet Nestor was helping me. Then I met my wife, who has always been a Christian, a Krife. My wife is more a Krife, person.
Right.
She's a proper, church lady and all that. So at that time she was a friend, and I'd come out of a lot of problems and big problems, and so she said, oh, you need to come back to Accra. There's still life, it doesn't matter all you've been through, and because everybody knew at the time that this guy he's gone. People even thought I was dead.
Wow.
'Cause, the stories were there. Is some said I've gone to jail, I've died. A lot of things were happening. So she encouraged me that come back to Accra, still start something. I'll help you. I'll take you to church. So she also, I also had doubts about her because she also had nothing. so yeah, so it was the same Christian stuff. But she did good by taking me to EWC, Prophet Gideon Danso's church.
Okay,
That's where she was.
Yeah,
Empowerment Chapel. So it was Prophet Gideon Danso who also sort of confirmed something that I'd heard from the other prophets, And then he asked me if you want to marry. I said, yeah, but I don't have nothing. It was like, do you want to marry this lady? I said, yes, but I don't have nothing. And I think it was in somewhere in July or something. And then he said, when do you want to marry? I said, oh, maybe next year when I've got a job and I've got stuff going. He said, no, I see you marrying 3 months from now.
Wow.
And I thought this man is not serious. These people, they are talking. I want to be a Christian now. Like, don't change my mind again. But the man was very confident, like, you will get married in 3 months to this lady, and God will open supernatural doors. 3 months from then, so it was we got married in November. So 3 months after his prophecy, we got married.
Wow.
I had a big job. My wife had a big job. It was strange, like
open doors.
Open doors. Things were happening. People were coming to my aid again. People wanted to help me. I got a very good job. So yes, I got married, and then I started the Christian walk. So I've been a Christian for 4 years. I've been a prophet for 3 years. I've been running my ministry for 3 years, but I've been a Christian for 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, for
just 4 years.
Yes.
And then a year after, you had a direction to start a ministry.
Yeah. So I was with Prophet Godwin Nuchuga, prayer. What's the name? How could I? Prayer Embassy, in Dansoman. So Prophet God Nuchuga took me in like a younger brother, At the time also I I was with Prophet James Owusu as well, who is in Tema. So he was, Prophet. I was working 1-on-1 or 7, and the Prophet Godwin Nuchuga. So he was helping me, taught me how to pray, and all of that. Until one day the Lord spoke that I need to go on waiting. I need to just leave, and then go and wait on Him. So I went to wait on the Lord for 21 days. In 21 days fast and prayers, my pictures are out there. I came out of that fast like looking like one. I was very lean and very very broken. At that place I had a lot of encounters. It was on Atria Mountains. So the Lord instructed that I go there. I had so many encounters with God. So when I came down from that mountain, then I began the ministry proper. At the time I was gathering people on phone to pray with. We're like 7, my wife inclusive, 6 of us praying together. Jesse, my personal assistant, was also there, and then Roberta. I think we were about 5 or 6. So that's what I was doing in attempt to keep myself going. And then I went to work with Prophet Godwin Nuchuga, and then the Lord asked me to leave and go and wait on Him. So I came back, and then I had the direction of God to start the ministry. And
you call your ministry Raw Time Ministries. What was that?
So I in prayer one day, the Lord gave me that name. I asked my wife. I said, I've heard Raw Time. I don't know what it is. My wife said, yeah, that's the name of your ministry. My wife is very prophetic.
Oh, she is.
Yeah,
2 prophets together.
Yeah, she really guided me. But she used to help me a lot. Like, I never used to know how to see, how to hear, but she was. And so she would tell me, oh, when you see this is what it means. When you see that. And then even also Pastor Albert, of King's Chariot Chapel, he was also very, he was also very helpful. I used to ask him for the interpretation of dreams. And I think I had good people around me who genuinely wanted to help me when they hear my story. So Raw Time Ministry came to me by the grace of God. And then it's a prayer ministry. All I knew at the time was prayer, because anybody who knows Prophet Godwin Nuchuga will tell you he's a prayer person. So all I knew was prayer, prayer. And so that's how the name came. And then we started at Achimota Forest in the year 2021. And then this is how far God has brought us.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just 3 years.
3 years and very impactful.
I think it's the speed of God.
Wow. But you don't do service on Sunday, yeah?
No, now it's a interdenominational ministry. It's a fellowship. So we have monthly conferences, the last Saturday of every month. And then I have online ministry, which is on Zoom, Thursdays and Sundays, 10 p.m. So I've been doing that monthly conference for 30 months now, consistently. The thing is, the Strictly Prophetic we just had, that blew off, and everybody thinks that I just started ministry. I was always doing, of course, I'm very new in ministry. I'm still learning a lot, but I was doing that conferences every month for about 25 months.
Oh, wow.
And so when it was the 3rd year anniversary, the Lord said, it's time to project.
Open up,
open up and project the ministry. And so I seek support from a couple of people, who also gave me their support and blessing. And then we mounted all those billboards and
you're doing good. I mean, you're gathering all these prophets in town. I'm going to make use of my last 3 minutes with you. Given the chance to speak to a younger version of you, what would be the best advice?
Before I come to that, I would like to say a very big thank you to my spiritual father, Apostle Francis Amwakunwata. He took me when I was nobody, when I was nothing, and guided me, helped me, prayed for me, believed in me, very importantly, and then showed me the way, showed me the way I should be. And by the grace of God, I am here today because of his tutelage and his guidance. If I had to speak to a younger version of myself, I think that I could say a lot of things, but one most important thing that drives me is to discover your purpose. Discover your purpose on earth. Where you're born doesn't matter. Where you're going matters. If you have your purpose in your hand, and if you can discover the blueprint of your life, which comes out of the discovery of your purpose, you would avoid certain mistakes that can destroy your destiny. You would avoid certain mistakes that can, completely take your life. I think I was fortunate. I think that the Lord has shown me so much mercy to have kept me alive to this point. Like I said, some people lost their life. The next thing I would say to a younger version of myself is to be patient. Trust the process. There is no better ritual anywhere than the ritual of Jesus Christ. There's no better ritual anywhere than the ritual of Jesus Christ. There's no better wisdom anywhere than the wisdom of Christ. What you need in life is to truly know Jesus Christ for yourself, truly encounter this spirit, and let not somebody tell you about Jesus. Discover him for yourself, encounter him for yourself. And like Proverbs chapter 4 would say, if you would be anything, or if you would seek anything in this life, first seek wisdom. First make sure that you have truly encountered the spirit of wisdom. The spirit of wisdom will help you. The spirit of wisdom will guide you. The spirit of wisdom will order your steps to where your destiny is leading to.
I want you to put your number out or any other information you want to, because my time is up. I wish I had more time with you. I must make this available to somebody. But give us your contact details for those who might want to reach you, because I think some young brother or father or mother would need you to be a blessing to your child out there.
Yes. So next month, God willing, I have a prophetic conference dubbed How to Become Great. Keys to Fulfilling Your Destiny. Next month, August 26th, it's coming off UPAC, the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex. I think that by the grace of God, I will be a good model for a young person struggling out there, somebody depressed, broken, who does not understand their way of life. You can reach me on 0244 856 983, 0244 856 983. You reach Prophet Ecole Daniels on that number on WhatsApp. You can text that number on WhatsApp, and then by the grace of God, you get in connection with me, and then by God's grace, I will help you.
Right.
The anointing of God will help you if you get into contact with me. God richly bless everyone who's listening to us this morning. I'm praying for you that you will not make the mistakes I made. And I'm praying for you that if you are in those kind of situations that I was in, may you encounter Jesus Christ for yourself, and may the Lord help you.
Amen. Thank you very much, Prophet Ecole Daniels. I appreciate you for coming through, and I'm close. Well, this is how we close the show. May His grace see us through every life's race with the next